Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. I'm absolutely delighted to welcome a very special guest onto this channel once again, Fabrizio Romano. Fabrizio, it's a very busy time for you. How much sleep are you getting at the moment?
It's not easy to sleep. It's just trying to stay connected. It's transfer window now for managers more than for players, but soon will be also for players. So I'm sleeping not so much, but I'm happy to make this work. So as always, fighting as always.
Well, lovely to have you on the channel again, and we've actually agreed that you'll come on this channel on a regular basis during the summer, which I'm absolutely delighted about. Now, first up, Tottenham Hotspur need a new manager. We have now gone 43 days without a permanent boss in charge. Who will be the next Tottenham Hotspur boss, in your opinion? Because most Spurs fans at the moment want Mauricio Pochettino back. What are the chances of that happening?
Yes, it's a good question because they are talking and exploring different opportunities. For sure, what is being reported in England in these days about Mauricio Pochettino and some contacts with Tottenham is true. So they had contacts. Tottenham had an interest in bringing back Mauricio Pochettino to the club, but at the moment, the position from Paris Saint-Germain is still the same. They are convinced that Pochettino is staying. They consider that he has a contract, so they have no intention to change this position. The only chance is if Pochettino will communicate something different, but at the moment, the situation is still the same. What Leonardo said is Pochettino is our manager. We are planning for the future with him. So this is the position from Paris Saint-Germain. That's why it's not easy, but the contacts were absolutely true between Tottenham and Mauricio Pochettino. So let's see now what happens and what he will decide. And they have obviously different options. They had a meeting some weeks ago with Ten Hag. Then he decided to extend the contract with Ajax, but just because Tottenham were not 100% convinced about the situation with Ten Hag. And let's see now if it could change or not. But at the moment, Ajax are convinced that he could stay. He has extended the contract. Let's see what happens with Antonio Conte. He was not in the race to join Real Madrid, but he could be an opportunity for Tottenham if something happens in the next days. He's available on the market. He's ready to train immediately after his separation from Inter. So let's see what happens in the next few days, but for sure Tottenham are really close to decide their new manager, I'm sure.
Fabrizio, with Mauricio Pochettino, has contact been made by phone? Has a meeting been taken place? What sort of contact has happened here?
It was a direct contact. It was direct contact. To be honest with you, I don't know exactly about the day and the hours of these kind of things, but I know that they had a direct contact and that Tottenham were really pushing directly with Pochettino, with his lawyers, with his agents, just to try and to find an opportunity. Also because they think that bringing back Pochettino would be something like a refresh for the club, something really positive for the atmosphere, for the players. So that's why they wanted to try. Paris Saint-Germain had a serious, as I said before, a serious stance since the first moment they say that Pochettino is staying, but Tottenham were really pushing with the manager. So I think it's really up to Pochettino. It's really up to Pochettino. If he wants to change, he needs to go public and say, okay, I want to come back to Tottenham because my family, my atmosphere, or something like this. If it doesn't do anything different in the next days, I think Pochettino is staying at Paris Saint-Germain because they are not planning to change. They are happy with him. They are planning for an important transfer market, but without including the manager. So at the moment, the situation is up to Mauricio Pochettino.
There's been lots of reports out in England stating that Mauricio Pochettino is perhaps unhappy at the moment at PSG. Any truth in that?
Well, when you say unhappy, you know, it means obviously that when you work with Paris Saint-Germain, you have to consider that you are working with an important president, with an important director as Leonardo. So what happened with Tuchel, they were not on the same point about some transfers. Maybe Pochettino wanted Dele Alli, for example, in January, and they had the opportunity to sign Dele Alli from Tottenham because Daniel Levy wanted him to stay. So, you know, it's normal to be, I won't say unhappy. I would say like you want something and the club is planning for something different maybe. Obviously, he would love to start the season with Mbappé with a longer contract because having Mbappé only with 1 year left in his contract could be a problem for a top club like Paris Saint-Germain. So they are discussing about something like this, but I think it's something normal in football. Sometimes we have reports showing that it's broke relationship or something like this. There are some problems, some issues, but it's part of the relationship between board and manager in football. So nothing else than this. It's about the idea of Pochettino is about if he wants to come back in England, about his family, about his project, about Tottenham project, or if he wants to continue for one more season at Paris Saint-Germain. That's why it's up to him.
Fabrizio, you mentioned Erik Ten Hag there. Can you give us any more names that Tottenham have perhaps been talking to in the last 43 days since Jose Mourinho was sacked?
And they had different opportunities, also with Potter, they were making some consideration with him. It could be an opportunity. They were also speaking to people close to him. I said about Antonio Conte because Antonio Conte is an interesting opportunity. And in my personal opinion, he would be perfect for what Tottenham is looking for. So be back at winning. He's a serial winner. He's fantastic. Wherever he goes, he wins. But he always wants an important, I would say, participation from the club. So you need to invest, you need to sign players that he wants, you need to go 100% together with Conte, because if Conte is not the club together with him, he's not the right manager. He's just creating some problems because he wants to be 100% on the same point. So that's why they are talking with people close to these managers. They want to decide because they know that really in this moment for Tottenham to decide for the right manager is something really, really important because of the project, because of Harry Kane, because of what they want to do in the future. This season was really disappointed. Also what happened with Mourinho was not at Tottenham level, I would say. That's why they want to be 100% confirmed about and sure about what they're doing. And about Ten Hag, what I want to add is that the meeting was true, but was Tottenham positioned to say they were not 100% convinced of him as perfect manager. So that's why I see not so easy to appoint him right now. Also because new contract with Ajax could be a problem for sure.
So we can cross Eric Ten Hag off of our list, can we?
Sorry, I wasn't hearing you.
We can cross Eric Ten Hag off of our list then, can we?
Yes, no, I think the situation with Ten Hag is like this. And also, when you have this kind of manager, also as a profile, he will be perfect because he's young, he has good ideas. They're looking for a young manager. So with this kind of characteristic, this kind of skills, but let's see what he will decide because he has a strong relationship with the director of Ajax, Mark Overmars, and that's why I think it's not easy.
Fabrizio, any other names? Because the betting odds at the moment very low on people like Eddie Howe, Brendan Rodgers, Roberto Martinez, even Nuno Espirito Santo, who I've heard is now in talks with Crystal Palace. But any of those names possibly be the next Tottenham boss?
For Martinez, I've been told that there is nothing advanced. There was some call, is normal, but nothing advanced. And also talking about the situation of Nuno, I think no. I'm told no, he won't be the new manager of Tottenham. So it's normal to have this kind of rumors. Also with Brendan Rodgers, there was some contact with Brendan Rodgers, it's true, but it was some weeks ago. But he always said that he wants to stay in Leicester. He wants to continue his project with Leicester. So he's happy with the club. So I think it's not so easy to go for this kind of managers, but I expect Tottenham to try for something different from these names.
I've got to say, a number of Tottenham Hotspur fans at the moment, Fabrizio, are quite worried in the fact that why has it taken so long for Tottenham to make this appointment? In your opinion, why is it taking it so long, and how long do you think it's going to be before we actually do appoint a manager?
I think it's normal that it's long just because, when you want to go, it's not just changing manager. If you want to go with a new project and Tottenham need a new project, we're talking about players, we're talking about Kane, we're talking about the manager, we're talking about the relationship between the manager and Daniel Levy. After Mourinho, they need to decide for a manager with a great relationship. So if you want something perfect for you, you need to wait, you need to meet managers, you need to understand their projects, you need to understand their level of English, for example. This is something important for Tottenham. So that's why the situation is not easy, because they want to decide for the perfect manager. It's not a normal choice. It's about the project. They need to rebuild this summer. They don't have a clear project. They need to build a project together with this new manager. And I could also expect something new in the board for Tottenham. So keep an eye on the situation of the board, because they can go with some new entry, with maybe a new executive. Let's see what happens. There are a lot of rumors, but they are also looking to this because they want to rebuild the project with the board, with Daniel Levy, of course, and with a new manager.
That's exactly what I was going to come on to. I was going to say, Daniel Levy obviously works with Steve Hitchin, the director of technical performance. Do you think there will be a shake-up, behind the scenes, with Daniel Levy and Spurs perhaps employing a director of football or a sporting director, and even perhaps pass on some responsibility to the new boss, in terms of transfers, etc.?
Yes, the new boss will be so important on transfer. This is part of the rebuilding of Tottenham, 100% sure. So as I was mentioning before about Dele Alli and what happened with Mourinho, it's so important to have a manager as of today that is 100% on the same point of the club. Look what happened at Chelsea. Frank Lampard had some problems on some signings with Chelsea last summer. He wanted Declan Rice. They didn't sign Declan Rice, so they had some problems. Then Tuchel arrived. They were on the same point on the transfer window on what kind of player we want, what we want to do about the contracts, and they won the Champions League. Okay, so they are planning together for the future. It's important to have a manager to decide together and not having different ideas. That's why Tottenham are taking the time. That's why Tottenham are meeting different managers. And that's why also the position of the director of football will be important to see if they will go with something new. I'm told that they are exploring this kind of opportunity, so talking with people to have some opportunity for something new in the board. But it will be important to be on the same point. Daniel Levy, the potential director of football, of course, Sitchen, and also the new manager. So they want to build something new with this kind of structure. And in my opinion, in today's football, it's 100% important to have this kind of structure if you want to win.
Fabrizio, the Euros start in just 10 days' time. What do you think? Will Tottenham appoint a manager before the Euros, or will it be after?
Yes, before the Euros, yes.
Oh, you seem very definite on that.
Yes, but because obviously they are not happy with the situation. Daniel Levy obviously wanted to appoint the manager before, but timing is key in this story. So imagine spending 1 month without a manager, another month without a manager would be crazy. So they want to decide in the next days, in the next weeks, and as soon as possible, but before the Euros, yes.
Okay, want to move on to the subject of Harry Kane, of course. Reported that he's got a price tag on his head of £150 million. Who is interested at the moment in Harry Kane? Who can afford him? And do you think that he will leave this summer?
Yes, the situation of Harry Kane is really, I would say, particular because, if you talk on Tottenham side, they are still on the same position. And in my opinion, we need to respect Tottenham position. And they say Harry Kane is not going anywhere. He's staying here. He has 2 years left on his contract. So we're going to continue with Harry Kane. From Harry Kane's side, the position, as now is totally different. So they are convinced that he wants to leave. He has desire of playing Champions League football. Manchester City are the most interested club. Also, Chelsea are looking at him, but Manchester City are the most interested club at the moment. But you know better than me, negotiating with Daniel Levy is complicated for normal players. Imagine for top stars players as Harry Kane. So about the fee, about the negotiation would be really, really difficult. So immediately after they appoint a new manager, they will talk directly with people close to Harry Kane to decide together to see what happens. But at the moment, the desire of the player is still the same, leaving the club. The desire of, in this case of Harry Kane, is he wants to try something new. But Tottenham are still on the same position. So that's why it's not easy to understand now what happens. I think the manager will be something important because also looking at the new project, if Tottenham will arrive with a new project, with a new manager, talking with Harry Kane and trying to show him what's going on in the club, they can try to keep him 100%. But Harry, at the moment, still saying he wants to try something new. And he wants Tottenham to be respectful with him after many years in the club, just to try something different. Let's see, because with Daniel Levy, it's really complicated to sell top players.
Fabrizio, what's your opinion on the whole manager thing? Will Tottenham and Daniel Levy go for someone like Pochettino or indeed someone like Antonio Conte? As you say, he's a winner. He's won everywhere he's gone. Or will they go for a young manager? You mentioned the word project earlier. Will they go for a young manager, something brand new, someone like Graham Potter or Scott Parker?
Yes, but at the moment they are considering more than the age of the manager. Of course, they don't want an old one, but part of the age of the manager, they want to have the clear idea about what kind of football they want to play, what kind of players they want to sign, what kind of project they want to do. Because, if you sign Antonio Conte, we know Antonio Conte here in Italy so well, and I'm sure that if he signs for a club, it's because he wants to feel that he could win something. Also, immediately, I still remember his first press conference at Inter, when he joined Inter. He said, I want to feel that I also have a 1% possibility of winning something immediately. Also, if only the 1%, I want to win immediately. So this is Antonio Conte mentality. If you are building something long-term, Antonio Conte is not the man for you. He wants to win immediately. He's not taking 3 or 4 years to win. But you have to support Antonio Conte. With Pochettino, you need to build an important project because he was doing something amazing with Tottenham years ago. Now, coming back would mean, okay, I'm coming back, but I want something important. I won't come back just because I love the city or I love the fans and I love the club. So, it's about the project more than the age of the manager. That's it. But I think they will try for the biggest. And if the situation won't be the best one, they will go for something different. That's it.
Fabrizio, I want to move on to Heung-min Son's contract. Any news on this? Because last time we spoke in January, you said that he seemed very happy at Spurs. Is this still the case?
I was hearing the name of the player. I'm sorry.
Heung-min Son.
Yes. He's so happy with Tottenham. They are not planning to let him leave, also because they have the situation with Harry Kane. So imagine losing Harry Kane and Son in the same summer, impossible. So Son is open to stay, and they are negotiating the new contract. They are progressing in this negotiation. Obviously, now Tottenham are busy with the situation of the manager, but immediately after they will work also again with Son. They want to extend the contract. They want to give him a new salary. So yes, say Son is staying at Tottenham, and for Harry Kane it's a bit different, but yes, Son is staying.
Fabrizio, I want to move on to possible transfers coming in. I know it's probably difficult to say at the moment with no manager in place, but obviously work still continues. Any names that you can give us who Tottenham have been looking at the moment?
I will keep an eye on the situation of centre-backs, to be honest, because they want a new centre-back, and I will keep an eye on Joachim Andersen. I was tweeting some days ago that he wants to stay in Premier League. He has a lot of interest from European clubs, also from Italy. He played in Italy, in Sampdoria, was so good, also from Premier League clubs. So a lot of clubs are interested, but at the moment I'm told that Tottenham are really well positioned. They want him. So they have him in their list. They are waiting for the manager because, of course, you have to decide together with your manager if signing a player or not. But Joachim Andersen could be an opportunity. He's coming back to Lyon from the loan spell at Fulham, but now he could be an opportunity for Tottenham. So Joachim Andersen, I would mention as target. And I would also keep an eye on the situation of right backs. Let's see what Tottenham will decide, because they want to go with a new right back. Let's see what kind of player they want to sign. There are a lot of clubs interested in Max Aarons for Norwich, but he could be an opportunity also for Tottenham. So I would keep his name an eye on his name, because it could be an opportunity for many clubs and also for Tottenham. And let's see. But for the players, you need to wait for the manager, of course. So before signing the managers, you need to appoint a new manager. The players, you need to appoint a new manager. So that's the point. But about Andersen, I'm convinced that they want him. Yes.
What's the latest, in your opinion, on the Gareth Bale situation? Do you think he will be a Tottenham Hotspur player again next year?
It's really depending by the manager, because with Mourinho, I tell you that he's 100% leaving Tottenham and not staying. With the last situation, last month, he was happy. He was performing so well. So that's why the situation changed. At the moment, his agent, Gareth Bale, and Real Madrid, they are all waiting for the situation of the managers. Carlo Ancelotti will be the new manager of Real Madrid. So now he needs to discuss with Real Madrid. Tottenham will have a new manager, and they need to discuss with the new manager. And then they will have a meeting already scheduled with the manager, the agent of Gareth Bale. So they will talk directly with him, and let's see what happens. But they have a meeting scheduled immediately after the appointment of the new manager, and they will decide on Gareth Bale.
Fabrizio, what about RB Leipzig's Marcel Sabitzer? Is Tottenham still tracking him?
He's always been in the radar. Yeah, he's always been appreciated with Mourinho, without Mourinho. So he's always been a player appreciated by Tottenham. But first of all, it will take time. I think before Euros, signing Sabitzer will be really complicated. So it will take time. After the Euros, we will see if some club will put the right bid. Leipzig are so clear on this kind of players. If you put the right money, the player can leave. But you have to put this money, so it's not so easy. But for sure, Tottenham are among the clubs interested in him, and let's see what happens. But it could be an opportunity, yes. It depends by the manager also, because, for example, we were talking about Bale, about Sabitzer. Imagine if you sign Conte playing with a 3-5-2 is really complicated to sign this kind of players, because he doesn't need a number 10. Imagine that Christian Eriksen was having problems with Antonio Conte because he's a number 10 at Inter, and Gareth Bale in a 3-5-2 it could be a problem to have a player like Gareth Bale. So it depends by the manager. That's it.
Fabrizio, what about goalkeepers? Because, of course, Hugo Lloris goes into his final year of his contract next season. Are Tottenham looking at any goalkeepers at the moment?
Let's see, also on this point will be something to discuss with the new manager, but about Magnan from Lille, he was not a target. He's joined at AC Milan, but he was not a target. Lloris is waiting to understand who will be the manager to talk with the new manager and to decide together. Because now also the manager is important to understand about the goalkeeper, because I talk about Antonio Conte again because he was here in Italy, and he wanted the goalkeeper who was good to play with the foot, playing good football, like with a Guardiola style with the goalkeeper. So it's also important to understand for Hugo Lloris who will be the new manager to decide his future. And let's see also what Tottenham will decide. I'm told that it's absolutely not true about the rumors coming from Italy about Wojciech Szczesny from Juventus. Impossible. But let's see if they will go with a different one. They will decide with the manager. So with the players, we need to wait for the manager. That's it.
And last question for you, Fabrizio. Any teams looking at any of our players at the moment? Because, of course, Serge Aurier has come out and said that he would like to leave to PSG. Moussa Sissoko has said that he's open to leaving. Any of these teams looking to buy any of our players?
Yes, for sure. As you say, Dorier could be an opportunity. Also, if Paris Saint-Germain now are negotiating with Hakimi from Inter, but let's see if they can sign Hakimi. Maybe they could go again on Sergio Aurier, and let's see what happens with Sissoko. He's always had interest from Italy, but at the moment there is nothing advanced. They're all waiting for the manager situation, because maybe new manager arrives and decides for something different for these players. So with Pochettino would be something different, or with Antonio Conte, or with Ten Hag. So we just need to wait for serious transfers. The only name I'm telling you that they are working on as new signing is Joachim Andersen.
Okay. I can't thank you enough, Fabrizio. Thanks so much for your information, and hopefully when I speak to you next week on this channel, we might have a brand new manager.
Thank you. I hope for you.
I'm hoping so. Thanks so much for coming on again.
Thank you. Really big pleasure. Thank you to all people who are following us, and thank you for your messages, and big pleasure to be together. Thanks for the invitation.
Thanks, Fabrizio. Come on, you
Bye.
Spurs. Thank you.